Hello, everyone, and welcome to Growing Kentucky's Leaders. I'm one of your hosts, Sheldon McKinney.
And I'm your other host, Ruth Ann Fink.
And today we get to introduce you to two more Kentucky FFA state officers. We have our state secretary, Jacee McKeel, and the Lake Cumberland Region State Vice President, Clinton Corner. They are both freshmen at Murray State University. So, welcome to the show, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, so let's just jump right in and get started. Clinton, we'll start with you, and then Jacee, you kind of follow up from that. Share your journey in FFA. What inspired you to get started and take on this role, Clinton?
Yeah, so I came into FFA kind of like I feel like most people would. I didn't talk, I hated school, and I just didn't see myself getting involved in anything. I waited till 3:10 every single day waiting for that bell to ring whenever I could leave the building and get home as soon as possible. But it wasn't until I got into my first agriculture class that I learned that there was a place for me. I still wasn't wanting to get involved in the club, but I took the chance whenever one of my best friends asked me to join his junior quiz bowl team. And, I found out that that was the place for me. I learned that this was a club that offered you so many opportunities, so many places for you to, belong. And then my ag teachers and my friends just let me know that FFA provides a place for anyone regardless of their background. And so seeing how that changed my perspective on school and the opportunities, I wanted to take a further step and get even more involved when it come to becoming a leader. So I would first run for a committee chair position my freshman year, just trying to keep going and take that leap of faith. And I absolutely fell in love with our program and with the executive team. I got to meet so many people from across the region and the state, and I would run for an officer every single year. And I got to meet so many new members, the freshmen that would come in, and they were in that same situation that I was. They didn't think this was the place for them. And then you get them to take that leap of faith and to join that team or come to that event and see what they was able to accomplish and how their life was also changed. And so seeing the impact that I was able to make and what was being able to accomplish on the chapter level, I thought, why not take that even further? So I'd run for regional office, trying to, see all the things that the region had to offer, to make connections with those members, to show them that the regional officer team is there for them and that they all have the ability to shine in their own way. And a few state officers, I'd see how they changed my life in other ways. So I decided I would take that next step and I would run for state office and I would be elected. And it's been the most amazing journey yet.
That's great. Clinton, I did not ask you all to say what is your home chapter.
Oh, so I come from Pulaski County FFA,
Yeah, Somerset, Kentucky.
Somerset.
Yeah, Jacee, I feel like your story is probably going to be a little bit different than Clinton's and how you started an FFA.
It definitely is different, but there are certainly similarities as well. I went like in middle school, I loved public speaking, but I did not come from an ag background. My granddaddy was a poultry farmer, but I was removed from it at the time. So whenever my ag teacher, Mr. Jacob Falwell, actually texted my dad and was like, "We think Jacee needs to join FFA. Like, I can see potential in her." I remember telling my dad, like, absolutely not. There's no way. I'm not going to be a farmer. I'm never going to be a farmer. Like, why in the world would I join FFA? And then, of course, August came around. I was a freshman at Cowley County High School, and signups were open for FFA. And I was like, you know what? It's $5. I'm going to get a free t-shirt out of it, maybe a couple of meals, like maybe I can give this thing a shot. And then I absolutely fell in love with it. Conduct of chapter meetings was really my heart at the time with my freshman year. And then it really clicked my first state convention. So I guess state convention of 2022. And the opening ceremonies where everybody stands up like, FFA members, why are we here? And at that moment, I had cold chills. I knew I was home. And ever since then, it was kind of just like a rite of passage, right? So I went through that. Fell in love with CDs and LDs, took on multiple different leadership opportunities, and also met the best people in my life, those that were fellow FFA members, but also mentors as well that have gotten me to the place that I am today. So while it was kind of a rocky start of no way I'm going to do that, I have definitely eaten my words, and it's been the best experience, truly.
That's so awesome to hear. And I like it never, we always ask the state officers the same question of like, what brought you here? And you all are very authentic and how it got there. And I hope if FFA members are listening, they're thinking, oh yeah, there's not just like one direct path to have a positive experience in FFA. And you all are living authentically to that. Both of you are on a team of 12 people that make up our state leaders of the Kentucky FFA Association. And leadership can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So I want to ask you guys about like your own philosophy on leadership. So let's limit this to two qualities. What two qualities do you think are really essential for an effective leader in the FFA? And Jacee, let's start with you this time.
Absolutely. So I think it all comes down to your character and your individualism. And like you said, being on a team of 12 people, we have so many different strengths and personalities and characteristics. And while that can be like a little like daunting at first, it makes it so beautiful because whenever we're looking at all 12 of us bring something so different to the table that allows for our team just to be united while also serving the 24,000 plus members of Kentucky FFA. So whenever I'm telling somebody about this is what you truly need to be a leader. At the end of the day, it's being yourself. It's all going to lay out exactly how it needs to be. And if you are truly yourself, you're going to make the biggest impact on people. So character, having a good character, but most importantly, individualism for sure.
What do you think, Clinton? What would you say? What are the two qualities?
Well, first, I would say that you have to be genuine and caring. Whenever we interact with members, whether it was at our home chapters or now as a state officer, you have to be your genuine self, like Jacee said, but you have to show care and love towards FFA members. This could be a freshman member on their very first FFA journey, and they could be scared and they could be worried, like, what am I doing? Is this the place for me? I don't know how to talk to a random stranger. And so you got to show them love and you got to show them that this is the place that they belong and that everyone is a big family in FFA. And so that would be the first one. And then another one I would say is that whenever you're, going across the state to these different chapter visits and things like that, you just have to feel like you're part of them. You have to feel like you're right at home. You can't be nervous. You can't feel like you're out of place. Everywhere is your place to show what an impact that you can have and to show that you are part of them in the same organization. You're all a part of the same association and that you are there for them. This is the activities that they're having. This is the activities that you're doing. And, this is what you were meant to do.
Well, you talked about connecting with people and going to these other places where, as a state FFA officer, you travel to other local chapters. Maybe you've never been there. Maybe you know one person or know people. But it's an interesting dynamic we put you guys in to go, hey, we're dropping you into this FFA chapter. Go make friends. I think that's a skill set. We teach you all a little bit how to do that. But also, I think there might be FFA members who are watching who are like, I really wish I had these connections you all are talking about with other people. So my question for you is, how do you connect with others and build relationships within FFA? Who wants to go first?
I can go. My biggest advice to anybody that I also have to remind myself, at those different chapters that we go to, is be comfortable with being uncomfortable, step outside of that box, because there are so many different opportunities that are just like sitting at your feet if you just look down, So with all of these people that you're going to, no matter like if you're standing outside of a competition or you're waiting for awards to be announced, I mean, I have met so many amazing people during those moments, and I would have never thought that is where I would meet some of my best friends, and they're all out the state, So like say hello, create a connection, get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because the reward is so much bigger than the risk, because when we look at it in the rearview mirror, there's no risk at all, So step outside of your box, say hello, meet the people, because you only have 4 years in high school, and then in your FFA journey, it's a slower amount. So making sure that we make the most of all of it, and be a nice person, say hi, create the connections, because those will be the memories for sure.
What about you, Clinton?
Well, I would say that, you just have to jump right in.
Mhm.
Whenever you get there, they have these activities lined out. And so they want you to have the best time that you can have, and you want them to have the best time. So you need to just jump right in, get things moving. These members could also be the ones that have put a lot of work into it, and they're worried that you're not going to like it, even though it's going to be the most fun experience that you've had in a long time. So jumping right in, getting involved, showing them that what they had planned or what you're doing is really making an impact on us as a leader and for their chapter. And so I never knew that whenever I would go to my first chapter visit and seeing how different every chapter is, how, their chapter is not like my chapter, but the activities, when I just jumped right in, I had the most amazing time. I made the most amazing connections, and I was able to really see what they were putting forward and what they were doing. So just jumping right in, getting going, not worried about what necessarily could be the outcome, but having that outcome is going to be come out of what you've done, what you're doing, and not worrying about making a fool out of yourself, just having fun and
Mhm.
doing what you're doing.
I remember you all talking about that just like brings back such a memory to me. I think that's great advice for people who are listening because I probably wouldn't have had the words to like describe this in the moment, but now after hearing you all, when I was in FFA and like I would go to those like regional events and we would be doing like silly stuff, but you're making such good memories and friends doing that. It was kind of like a no risk situation.
Mhm.
Like there was, you had permission to just be silly and have fun and I hope it's still like that. I remember many
Definitely.
moons ago it
Yeah.
was at least, but that
Yeah.
sounds like it is, and it's so true, and if you go into situations with taking your all's advice, and we're going to talk about like attitude here in just a minute, but you just approach it with that kind of mindset, it can be a no risk, just let's have fun and make memories together and do something good along the way. But I do want to talk about this positive attitude because you all make it look so easy. You all are both very positive people and have all great things to say. But being a state officer has challenging times too. You guys are both full-time students. You have a lot going on in your personal lives. You have many demands and responsibilities as a state officer. And so I just want to ask, like, what strategies do you personally use to stay positive in the midst of some challenging times? Who wants to go first on this one?
I can.
Mm.
So the strategies that I use to for the challenging times and staying positive is remembering the goal and the outcome of what can happen. There are times that you go to class, you have homework, and then for me, as soon as you get out of class, you got to hurry up and get to your car because you have a 4-hour drive to make. And so while sometimes it can be challenging, what happens in the end and what you're able to accomplish, what these members are able to accomplish is really what I most focus on. When you go to chapter visits and you see that first member give a committee report at a business meeting and get out of their shell, or you see someone who may be like myself and not want to play any sports, they decide to take the chance and join a team, and then they score the most points out of any of them. And so having to know what these members are doing and seeing that there's a positive of everything, and that whenever you make these visits, whenever you go to class, it may have a lot of things that you have to do, but you're getting able to see the good times and the fun memories and seeing what members are doing. That's the most positive thing that will come out of everything, and it's what keeps me going.
Oh, I love that. JC, what would you say? What are your strategies to staying positive?
My biggest strategy whenever I am, especially getting like stressed or a lot's on my plate during this time, it's having those connections, and this can be wherever. So like we have mentioned earlier, I mean, I have 11 of the best teammates in the whole entire world. That we're all sharing the same experience, right? And we're all making sure that we are maintaining that positive mindset, and that we are showing up and showing out this year, but also our mentors, like my mentors, either from Cowley County FFA or ones that I've made through Murray State or state staff, having these connections, being honest with myself and being honest with the team and also my mentors, keeping it real with everybody, making sure that me and the people that I'm relying on, and that they're building me up, making sure that I'm with the people that are going to keep me in that positive mindset, but are also going to push me to my best, and make the most out of this year for sure.
That's great. Well, another part of just staying positive and being a good teammate, we asked your team at the beginning of the year to really talk about what are your goals as a team? What do you all want to see happen within Kentucky FFA? So maybe a peek behind the curtain. What has your team decided? Like, what are you all striving for this year?
As a team, whenever we're at base camp, kind of discussing like what do we want to lay out on the table for Kentucky FFA, we want to make it the most for all of the members, and we want to be there for them exactly how they want us to. Kind of our thing for this year is showing up and showing out. That's kind of what we're pushing for as a state officer team, making sure that chapter visits we're there and we're making the most of it at Rising Sun Conference with each other on the team, that no matter what, we're going to make the absolute most of this year, but not for ourselves. We're actually the last people that need to benefit from this, but the other 24,000 FFA members that can benefit from us as well.
Yeah, and that is just a great point to think about, that showing up and showing out with that positive attitude, because there is a point where you can get kind of overwhelmed to the amount of stuff you have to do. But you all are going to have incredible experiences this year that are really once in a lifetime. And there's an end date. Your all's last day as Kentucky FFA state officers is June 11th, 2026. We're not going to ask you to go on any more chapter visits after that. Like, I promise. So it's like, what this year, this moment, do the very best you can to lead well.
Yeah, this morning Sheldon and I got to talk about like the history of Kentucky FFA and just some conversations like leading up to our centennial, and it makes me think like you all really are like this team creating history, like as you all are setting those goals and going to chapter visits and the influence you're having. In the same vein, I know like Jacee, you mentioned base camp, and for those listening, base camp is this like very intensive training. That's why it gets the name base camp, and that you all go through immediately after being elected at state convention. It's like a week long, if not longer, training where you just get downloaded so many things. But another conversation that happens at base camp is, okay, what is that history? What's that mark you all as a team want to leave on Kentucky FFA? And how will it help Kentucky FFA like get to this place, you know? So again, fill us in. What were the conversations? What is your all's team's hope of what Kentucky FFA will look like in the future? Clinton, why don't you take this one?
Yeah, so one of the main things our team is focusing on going off of show up and show out is we want our members to be engaged. And so there are people that are in the background that we might not see, and those that are just going into ag class, they show up to the events, but they don't feel very confident to really get involved on anything above the local level or in the local level itself. So something that we really focused on in all of our workshops at Rising Sun was getting the members engaged. And we hope to make that impact on the leaders of our association, is that every member has the ability to shine, and every member has the ability to go forward and be a state officer, just like Jacee and myself and my 11 other teammates. You know, they have the ability to go from someone who doesn't like school and is not involved in anything to now being a state officer from their chapter, the first one since 1984. And so we really want to make sure that they're engaged and that they really get involved. And we hope that our team can make an impact, that, you know, in the future, every chapter is pushing that they want all of their members engaged. They want all of their members to participate. And the state association entirety will have every member from every chapter doing things to show that they are really playing out that three circle model, and they are really getting to make an impact on all members.
A little follow up here. I think that's so great, Clinton. You know, if we have FFA members listening to this and maybe they've only been in it for a short amount of time or maybe a few years, I don't know where they're at in their FFA journey, you know, let's make it clear, like you don't need a title to be able to lead. Like they can lead where they're at. I know you guys know that, and that's what you're teaching and all these different workshops. Obviously, like you all do have a title and that comes with a lot of responsibility this year, but you know, FFA members don't need a title to lead. So if they're listening and they're like, okay, I'm motivated. I hear what they're saying about like, let's get engaged. I can do something. I'm going to put you on the spot. Like, what can they go do? How do they get started? How do they engage? What would you say is the first step?
Well, first I will say that whenever I visit these chapters in my home chapters, the best leaders are the ones without a title. They're the ones that jump in. They're the ones that are doing the most amazing things. And for someone that's wanting to be a leader, but maybe a leadership position isn't necessarily for you, just get involved, go see what you can do. If there's an event coming up and things have to be done, you can ask them, what can I do to help prepare? What can I do to make sure that this event is a success? And what can I do to make the most impact on the other members? Like you said, you don't have to have a title to be a leader. You just have to show up and show out. You have to be the
Okay.
one that's there doing work and trying to make every event and every opportunity the most it can be, and taking that step to be like, let's get this done. Let's do this. We have the ability to do something great here, and we're not going to let anything stop us from doing what we want to do.
Are you looking for fresh, new talent to add to your workforce? We have the perfect opportunity for you. Our Kentucky FFA Works program is available for company partner signups now with some exciting new improvements. Apply on our website at www.kyffaworks.com by December 31st, and you will have the opportunity to receive a selection of talented FFA members looking to be hired every quarter. We help you find the cream of the crop so that you can spend less time recruiting.
That's so good. Jacee, do you have anything to add to that?
You kind of killed that. I mean,
Yeah.
exactly what I was thinking. But going back to one of the first questions, being unapologetically yourself and being the best version of you that you can be. Like Clinton hit on, you don't have to have that leadership position, but no matter who you are or what age you are, there's people looking at you. People are seeing your actions, seeing your character. But when you're being yourself, your best self unapologetically, you're going to make a difference if you like it or not. So making sure that you're true to yourself, you're being the best person that you can be, and you will have an impact.
Hey, a quick one. I want you all to each finish this sentence. FFA has taught me blank. Jacee, you go first.
Okay. FFA has taught me to believe in others.
Okay. Clinton?
FFA has taught me to be myself.
We should start asking that to all the state officers. Chelsea, that's such a good little snippet of who encapsulates who you all are.
Mm-hmm.
Another quick one, and Jacee, you were like on it at the beginning of this podcast. It's like you read our minds about what this was. We wanted to ask you guys if what's a moment that still gives you goosebumps every time that you experience it in FFA. So maybe Jacee, we've already heard your response. It's all members in unison, but maybe you could tell us what never gets old. What still brings you so much
When was
every
the time that happened, FFA members, why are we here, that moved you the most?
Yeah, you give us your own little spin on it. But
Absolutely. It was that state convention. I mean, I had heard opening ceremonies at the local level, but whenever I was there, I mean, we all stood upright and you look around and it's a sea of blue. I mean, it's an insane thought, but one that immediately, no matter where you're from, what background you hold in ag, out of ag, no matter who you are, that was home. You were a part of something that I never thought I would be a part of. And if it was those 12 people on stage, or if it was my new friend I just met at a contest, we are a family. And how powerful is that? And how joyful I am to be able to experience that at such a young age, my freshman year, and kind of work through that, being a part of the family that I never knew or imagined I was going to have. But I mean, I have goosebumps thinking about it right now, of the blessings that it truly gave me, and that how blessed I was to experience that at such an early part of my journey.
Yeah, that's a cool moment for sure. Just in national convention, it's coming right,
So exciting.
So exciting. That's gonna be even bigger. Wow moment. Clinton, what's your goosebump moment?
My goosebump moment is seeing the hard work pay off. Just like Jacee at state convention, whenever you're sitting there and you look on stage and you see the people when their name is announced that they won this contest or they won that area in their proficiency, seeing their face light up as they go to get to shake the hand and grab the reward, and seeing that my work has paid off. And it doesn't necessarily have to be just a contest. There are so many ways that our hard work is paid off as FFA members. One of the things that comes to my mind as an FFA member is our local Smash Cancer Pumpkin Smash that we hold every year. And so we would smash pumpkins at the band tower, do this big event, and all the money that we raised would go to the American Cancer Society. And so that took a lot of hard work, a lot of planning, a lot of getting things done. And after this event, whenever you're able to make that impact and present the money to the American Cancer Society and see that, this money is going to give people a place to stay after they have cancer treatment, or it's going to be what helps pay their medical expenses from what they've done. And so when you see the smiles light up on their face whenever we're able to help them out, and whenever we're able to see that our hard work is making an impact and it's really doing something that betters our community and it betters our members and our state and our nation, seeing that we made that impact because we chose to do the work. And so that's what gives me my goosebumps and my chills, is knowing that what I'm doing is making an impact in the long run.
That's really good. Yeah, doing the work. One of my favorite moments that always gives me goosebumps at state convention that culminates in state convention and doing the work is when we announce our state FFA stars. And for the past like 10 years, I'm the one in the back who gets to take them back with their parents and their ag teacher and the sponsor. And just the culmination of the years of hard work that student has put in, and their parents are back there and their teacher and everyone's crying. It's like, if you want to see dads cry, you need to come back there. It is so intense. And just every year, I'm like, it's a wheat fest that day for me. It's for so many reasons. So I get both your answers. Very good. Okay, so the same 3 questions we ask everybody. Let's keep these quick so you get to do your other section. But what keeps you motivated as a leader? Jacee, we'll start with you.
What keeps me motivated as a leader, like Clinton hit on earlier, is remembering what's going to happen at the end, the impact that you're going to have, even if you don't see it originally, but remembering that it is happening, being unapologetically myself, showing up and showing out. I mean, it is going to have an impact.
That's good. Clinton, what keeps you motivated?
What keeps me motivated is remembering my why I do this in the first place, and why I'm taking the step to go to everything in these visits. Because, like you said, we have very busy schedules. We have to do class, we have family, and we have FFA. And so knowing why I'm doing this, the impact that I'm able to make, that's what really keeps me motivated.
Okay, another question that we ask all of our guests. It could be serious, silly, but it should just be top of mind and quick. What is something that you cannot stop talking about right now?
I'll go first. The weather. I've been loving it, especially down in Western Kentucky, in the Purchase region. I don't know if it's over here, but we have gotten like a cold front coming in, and it's the perfect sweater weather. But also like the reminders of all the amazing things that happen around this time of year. But definitely the weather, and then I get to start wearing my cozy winter clothes.
Oh, ditto. I'm excited about that. All right, Clinton, what about you?
So mine may not be as funny as Jacee's, but something I can't stop talking about is our team. We came in as 12 teammates who didn't really know each other to now being a huge family. I love each and every one of them. We're always checking up on each other, and just having this past weekend together and catching up and seeing what some of us are doing at UK, what some of us are doing at Western, getting to see that the impact that they're able to make on their own chapter visits in their own front, and the impact that they're making on me. Each one of them has a special place in my heart. I love each one of them dearly, and they've made me a better person.
No, you all have such a special bond. This team does for sure. Every team has their own like flavor. You all are very close. It's fun to watch. All right, we want to ask you all some like rapid fire. I mean, like, I'm gonna say a question. We're just gonna go Jacee Clinton, Jacee Clinton. Okay. Favorite CDE or LDE?
Poultry evaluation.
Parliamentary procedure.
Go-to gas station snack on the way to a contest?
Diet Coke and gummy worms.
Dr. Pepper and a bag of chips.
Most used phrase on your team?
I love you.
I miss you guys so much.
I'm sorry. I was like, what?
That is not what your teammates said to that question. That's great. This is perfect.
Nobody can say anything else. That's it.
Yeah, I have one more. One thing FFA taught you that school did not?
Believing in somebody is the biggest gift that you can give them.
Just be yourself, because that's what people really want to see.
Well, guys, thank you all so much for just doing a great job this year. It's been a pleasure to work with you all. I hope that everyone just gets to enjoy learning more about who you all are and getting to know you guys. So we wish you just the best. We love championing you guys and all that's next for you all. And thanks for being with us.
Thank you for
Thank you.
having us.
Yeah. And guys, thank you all for listening to another episode of Growing Kentucky's Leaders.
Growing Kentucky's Leaders is a podcast brought to you by the Kentucky FFA Foundation. Our music is performed by Bourbon County FFA member Joe Fritch. Artwork is by Julie Fritch Creative. Your hosts are Sheldon McKinney and Ruth Ann Fink, and you can find us on all social platforms at Kentucky FFA.